Yeah, I mean, it was always just the idea of like escapism. And this was another idea I had, like, that I just thought about every single day that I wanted to do it, like, even down to the format. Basically, the show starts, the cold open is like a comedian, doing like a minute or so of jokes. And then we just like talk about comedy for a bit and then talk about the movie. But yeah, like movies have always been a passion of mine. And it's always fun. It's like such a, it's such an accessible touchstone that we can all kind of, relate to. And I'm always surprised, like the movies that get the most downloads, I feel like are always like the shittier ones, like Hillbilly Elegy, just because they're so fun to talk about when they're bad. And I feel like the worst episodes are the ones where it's like actually a good movie, because we're just like, yeah, that was good stuff, right?
This is Amigos PC.
If you were looking for a highbrow, fancy, smart, regal podcast with hosts that love to talk about horse riding, badminton, and trips to the vineyard, you're in the wrong place. This is Amigos PC. If you're looking for drinking, random nonsense, stunts, shenanigans, and balls out craziness, you've hit the jackpot. This is Amigos PC, and this is Scott and Mark.
Amigos PC Live. Today's guest is a host of the Comics Features podcast, where comedians talk about movies as if like it's never been done.
It's never been done.
Dave Vadala. He also has recently featured on, if my computer can scroll down. Oh, really? Sorry. The Critics' Choice New York Comedy Festival. Comedy Fringe Festival. Thank you. Sorry about that. Dave, if you could just, tell us a little bit about your podcast and then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my podcast is called The Comics Feature. Basically, each week we talk to a different comedian about comedy, and we pick like a movie and we talk about the movie and make fun of it. And my comedy is just like about like weed and social situations and sometimes current events. You never know. I'm a generous performer and lover, so that's all.
You give and receive. I like
right at the end.
I love it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Tack it on there.
Very cool.
Amateur barber.
When did you amateur barber? Is that just something that you did on your own, or is that something you did for COVID?
Yeah, I mean, it's we're all amateur barbers if you think about it.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I'm not very good. I just gave myself a pretty bad haircut. But this stuff, it comes in waves.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to consider myself a sculptor of manscaping, and that's probably as far as I go.
Oh, tell us more, Mark. What do you mean?
Well, obviously, you know what manscaping is. I'm not going to go into too much detail. And
I've never heard of this. What do you mean?
Pubic hair on the actual podcast.
You went there. So Dave, you just said that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
So I use a flying fee for my pubic hair, if that's what you're going to ask.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, yes. That's exactly where I was heading.
We forgot to ask you. We're so rude.
Yeah, no, and then there's just like the
nose,
guess. So it looks like a fist bump if you're like close enough and also far away enough,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Which Mighty Duck movie inspired you to make the flying V?
Obviously the first one, yeah.
Well, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So
do you see they're going to make another one?
How long have you been in comedy?
It's kind of weird. I started in college and then kind of took a big old break, but I jumped back in probably, I think 3 years is like my fair answer. Like I feel like I've been around the scene like 10 years, but the fair answer is 3 years. I think that math kind of checks out.
What made you get into comedy?
It's weird. It's like one of those things I just thought about every day until I was just like, I have to do this. And I just kept thinking of more funny things or things I thought that were funny that I wanted to try. And it's a nice little like litmus test. You're like, oh, okay, like so people did like that. So maybe I'm not crazy. and then like you go and do something else that doesn't work, and you're just like, oh, okay, like a little crazy's still up there a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always funny. Like I know, like you guys are comics too, right?
No,
We are not.
We're just dudes.
We do live
No,
events.
we're
like
pretenders.
Be a comedy show, but that's about as far as we get.
Yeah, because like when comedians get together and stuff, like it's always the stuff I feel like I'm most excited to share, and then people are like, "Don't ever say that. You shouldn't. You don't want people to think you're like a murderer. Like, do you? Like that's always."
No, I think we like dark humor. Is that what you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think me and Mark both enjoy the dark humor side of things. So I think that's, I don't know, maybe so we do have the comedic embrace of that. Like, to us, anything to me is funny, honestly. And I think Mark is probably the same way. You can find the funny in anything, and you just don't take everything too seriously, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we're not talented.
Yeah. You're not gonna
so
see
it's
this.
not like
Yeah.
our advice may not be valid.
Right.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I like the dark stuff too. Like I've been joking around a lot lately about like a lot of people have started like new hobbies during the quarantine, and like a hobby I have recently is I've been waiting for Woody Allen to kill himself. I think that would be great. You know,
The clock is on for sure after that documentary.
yeah, it would be nice. Exactly. Yeah, and like the thing is, like I just want to watch Match Point again, but I feel like I can't do that until he does a little pew pew. That's my best pew pew foods, and I sincerely hope he kills himself tonight.
Yeah, it was that was a bad documentary for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like people like advised against like me like talking like that. It's just like, well, he's a bad guy, you know.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. I mean, everyone has an opinion, honestly. You know what I mean? So someone's always going to be like, "Oh, you're too far." Come on, just get over yourself and don't like it, and just move on. You know what I mean? That's what I wish kind of everything would be. If you don't like it, don't listen. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Basically,
we
you know what I
shouldn't
mean?
be banning artists or
Exactly. Yeah, the whole cover. You know, stop voicing your opinion or basically when the cancel culture thing. It's crazy. It's getting a little out of control, and comedy is definitely under attack. It seems. And it's
I would agree.
The time we're in. Yeah. Have you ever ran into that in anything kind of cancel, or like you're almost like something's, you can't say something somewhere, you kind of get like, shouldn't say that, or
a little bit. Yeah, I had this thing where I have this joke about how like I have sanctimonious friends, and like because like whenever you like get married and like you're like we're at the age where like all of our friends are starting to get married, right? And they'll say, "Oh man, like I learned so much in my marriage. Like I learned so much," and like you're just like, not really. But yeah, so my joke is like the only thing I've learned is like how to quietly jack off in my own bathroom.
You just use the
Like,
floor, right?
Perfect. That's a
Yeah,
great
no,
marriage joke.
exactly. And,
Yeah.
it's in my LinkedIn now as a skill set. I feel good about it. But
Right next to
had
amateur
that,
barber. Right next to amateur barber.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I'm a blame boy all the way. But yeah, you guys, but basically like later on in the joke, like I just discussed like how like, oh yeah, like I can jack off anywhere now. Like I can jack off in the video section of a public library. You'd never know I was there. You'd just be like, oh shit, they have DVDs now. Dan in real life, oh, it smells kind of fucking weird over here. Anybody know? But yeah, there's part of the joke where I go on to be like, oh yeah, like you guys see that movie A Quiet Place? Where like they had to stay quiet or else the monsters would get them. Like I could jack off in front of like John Krasinski's kids. Like they wouldn't be able to say anything.
And they're like, oh my god. Oh,
yeah, and they're like, well, and so like the booker person was just like, you are like I understand, like you did get the reaction, right? You got some laughs, but at the end of the day, David, we're talking about sexually assaulting children, and I was just like, I guess I never thought of it that way, but like you're kind of a sick fuck for phrasing it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was more like you were handling yourself, and they were just around. They just couldn't say anything.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
But
I'm not gonna
it's
jack
bad
off.
all around. It's bad all around. But yeah, I get. Yeah, that's.
All right,
Doesn't
yeah,
it
like it's not.
Yeah.
Like the intention is not like if you walk away from me talking about it being like, oh, he wants to sexually assault kids, it's like, well, you shouldn't be at the comedy show. You shouldn't have went outside if that's what you're all about.
Yeah.
And like if the person was just like, listen, like I know you're wacky, you're whatever, and it's just like, but you shouldn't do that because it makes people think that, you wanna, you're nefarious. And I'm just like, does it make people think like just because the idea of doing that, like I don't think it's fair to, knock me out. I think I understand how it's like shocking to an extent, but saying it's wrong is just, I don't know. I can see someone tanking me. So depending on the room, like I'll leave that part of it out. But yeah, people are just like, I don't know. It's like,
so no schools. You just don't do that when at schools. I get it.
You're kind of bringing a quiet, but that's the one with Sandra Bullock, right? Where like she had to be quiet in front of the monsters or whatever.
No, he's John Krasinski. It's where the monsters come. You have to be quiet.
Oh,
you're
same premise.
You're thinking
Look
of
at
Bird
that.
Box.
Hollywood ripping each other off.
Basically, wow.
Yeah.
That
never
doesn't
snake
happen.
snatch.
That never happens.
Exactly. Yeah. No, sorry. But that's how it always happens. So it's like Bird Box and A Quiet Place like came out the same month. Like, and it's just like one of these things like Dance in a Bug's Life. And
that's true.
There's one where it was snake snatch.
That's Woody Allen again. You brought up Woody Allen again.
Yeah. Hey,
that's funny. Hey.
The guy, you can't stop him from creating. He'll sexually assault whoever he wants.
I know until he pews.
Maybe try to bring the joke around to Sandra Bullock's movie. Like you could jerk off in front of her in a boat while she's blindfolded. That also might be sexual assault, but
that works.
In a different way.
You're taking the kids
and it's an adult at least.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think she had some. She had some kids in tow when she was running away from them. Yeah. This is how you sell your movie. You gotta have like. Yeah, you gotta have a semi-attractive like middle-aged person and like kids that can't like say the words like fire truck. It makes them cuter.
Yep.
Why is the nice man jerking off?
You do know Hollywood.
Well, we're talking about movies already. Your podcast essentially is you giving an insight, a pretty in-depth review of movies. Like, what drove you to want to talk about movies after basically going over current events and things like that?
Yeah, it was always the idea of like escapism, and this was another idea I had that I just thought about every single day that I wanted to do it, like even down to the format. Basically, the show starts, the cold open is like a comedian, doing like a minute or so of jokes, and then we just like talk about comedy for a bit, and then talk about the movie. But yeah, like movies have always been a passion of mine, and it's always fun. It's like such a it's such an accessible touchstone that we can all kind of, relate to. And I'm always surprised, like, the movies that get the most downloads, I feel like, are always, like, the shittier ones, like Hillbilly Elegy. Just because they're so fun to talk about when they're bad. And I feel like the worst episodes are the ones where it's, like, actually a good movie. Because we're just like, yeah, that was good stuff, right? But,
yeah,
we talk about the movie, and then we rate the movie on the Wahlberg scale, which is, if it's a good movie, it's a mark. Middling, it's an Oscar. If it's not good, it's a Donnie. Hypothetically, if the movie's horrible, it's a Wahlburger. I've got to find a way around explaining this every single show. I guess I could edit it. But then after that, we actually have an in-depth spoiler section. And a lot of, like, the best part about it is, like, if you like movies, you'll also find out about all these comedians who are, like, on the verge of breaking or who've already kind of starting to get credits type of thing. And, they're just a lot of fun.
Where did the
awesome.
The ranking system come? Like, I see you're using the Wahlbergs. How did that formulate? And then, like, how did it come to be that Mark is here and then Donnie's way down here, Oscar's in the middle?
Well, because Mark has made it.
Yeah,
right?
Scott
I mean,
gets
not
it, Mark.
But
not
Donnie,
come on, Mark.
Donnie
Were you
was
just,
a
like,
hit
giving him a
before
softball?
Mark was.
Come on.
Like he actually.
No, he
Also-
wasn't. Yeah.
So this is it, Mark. The Wahlberg plates are shifting beneath our feet. You know what I mean? This isn't a set system. You know what I mean? Like this could change any day. Like Mark could be, or excuse me, Oscar could be in a TV show, and I think he is on some Showtime TV show. I don't know what it's called. It is real. And that could blow up. That could be the next Breaking Bad, and then we would have Oscar be up here and Mark. But Mark is just kind of solidified as the best Wahlberg. And how did I come up with this? Well, as you guys know, there's a bombing here 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was. And then, so when that happened, the Wahlberg system was put in place for Boston Terror. But since we no longer need the Boston Terror scale with the Wahlbergs, I just adapted it for my movie podcasts.
I might be naive, but
Was that real? They really had that there?
No.
No, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know he's a
Did
big
Boston
Boston guy.
actually implement the Wahlberg
I didn't know
system,
that was
though?
real.
Or is it like what?
Yeah, for Amber, we don't know what the Amber Alert system is. It's just all Wahlbergs to us. It used to be roast beef sandwiches, but that was too controversial because, too subjective. But the Wahlberg is it's very finite, at least for now, Very fine.
That is hilarious.
So instead of silver alerts, we have like Donnie alerts or Oscar alerts.
Yeah, I think Donnie is the oldest, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Like if the kid has no chance, like and it's just like flatline somewhere, we're looking at a Wahlburger situation. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
No parents should ever have to eat a Wahlburger.
Are they all over in Massachusetts? Like, is there a ton of them?
There's a couple. There's one right by Fenway, and there's one like in just out in kind of the burbs. Which is so weird. Like if you're like the biggest movie star in the world, why do you then want to run like a shittier Hard Rock Cafe? Like what's your motivation? Why you're just in it for customer satisfaction? I don't understand. What's the motivation?
Dinner and a movie. Maybe that's what it is. They're trying to give you both. They go have our food and then enjoy our movies. The trees are out to get you.
Sure. Yeah.
Being in Boston, and then obviously you have Wahlburgers, and we've been talking about Mark Wahlberg. Have you seen Entourage at all?
Oh yeah. So after I talk on this show about Mark Wahlberg, I do love Entourage. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. It's a fantastic show. What a great show. Yeah.
I missed that boat, so I'll just mute myself. You guys go ahead. I never watched that one or even the movie because I heard the movie wasn't good though, or was it good? I don't know. I guess we'll see what you guys say. But I heard the show was amazing. The movie was.
Yeah, I liked. So the last episode of the show, and I don't think this is a spoiler. The last episode of Entourage, I think, in my personal opinion, is just absolute dog shit. So I think the movie is better than the last episode of the show, and I found it to be a serviceable kind of ending. But in a lot of Entourage fan fiction, which I wrote, things work out, better for drama in the end. But I don't, that's a different podcast, No, I secretly want to start. So my wife hates Entourage, and I want to start a podcast called On to Rage, where she and I watch every episode, and she kills herself at the end of it.
That's a twist.
That's good. I'll definitely listen. Or you guys are just watching it together, and you're explaining it to her, and she's like not watching it, and be like, no, watch this part. This is where Donnie, this is where Mark is doing this, or you know what I mean? Because I know it's based on Mark, but whatever, you know what I mean? That's all I know. Yeah, like no, watch this part because he's gonna go and he's gonna go to that party and
it's like season 3 or something, and like I just look over and I'm just like, oh geez, I should call the paramedics, but geez, a threesome with Vince and these two girls? What's going on?
Watch this. What are you doing?
No, I love my wife. But yeah, no, she really hates Entourage. But she'll have to make a choice one day, me or Entourage.
What are some shows that she makes you, or not makes you, encourages you to watch with her that maybe you're like, like I don't know, or maybe you don't want to say it.
Watch most, yeah, but, we do watch most of the same stuff. Like we're watching Mayor now on HBO. Like anything on HBO is just dope.
I agree.
But yeah, like a lot of times though, like we'll be watching like a house show, and then that she likes to watch
or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. And like at the end of it, I'm just like pissed off because I'm just like, ugh, like I love this house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it turns around on me. I'm just like,
those make me mad too. Like
show.
these people are too fucking rich. Damn it. I get mad at those.
I did like.
Mine is like my wife.
I was gonna say I did like your little twist there on how you described the podcast you want to create with her, because I honestly thought as you were describing the end that she was gonna kill you. So I like that little twist of.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that would have been funnier. Yeah.
Yeah, that probably would have worked out better. What about you, Mark? What does you and Monique, your wife, have you watched that you are really a big fan of, but you watch it anyways?
I don't really watch. Yeah, I don't.
Or maybe
really
that's
watch
grown
TV
on you
like I used to. I think the last thing that we were able to actually watch together was Game of Thrones.
Me neither.
Like actually sit and watch together. But
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was a disappointing ending.
Just ruined the entire series.
Yeah, or the season. You know what I mean? That was a couple too.
Episode. Like really.
Yeah.
No, but anything she watches, it's ghost video related or something, and I'm like, nah, I'm out. I can't do this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would love to be in a situation like that, but until that happens to me, like the show is pointless, right?
No, because you're not there feeling it all. Is that what you mean? Like you're not in the.
I just don't think. Like if I had, I'm guessing you guys have never had an otherworldly, ghostly experience.
I've had one. But mine wasn't great. I don't know if it was true or not. But go ahead, tell me yours.
No, sure. Well, because I haven't, and like people are always like, "Oh, I'm afraid of ghosts," but like I'm like craving a ghostly experience. So I'm not like, hey, like afterlife, check. You know what I mean? Like it would be nice to be like, oh, hey, there are ghosts.
Yeah.
So people freaking out about ghosts, it's more just like, I don't know. I guess I don't understand
until you like encounter it. So mine, the only one I had when I was little is one time I was younger, like probably 12 or 13 or whatever. I was watching TV in the living room, at home, and I'm watching TV, and the TV, or I think maybe the TV went out. I don't. Either way, like it got dark, and I'm looking, and I had, my parents had that old school glass stereo system where you can kind of see the reflection from, if you're looking at it, you can see behind you kind of thing. So I'm looking there, and I saw the kitchen light was on, and I can see a black shadow went past it. Like, I don't know what that was. It probably could have been my parents, who knows. And the next thing you know, I had a bloody nose. So like, to me, I was like, was that something, or it could have just been, dry fucking nose. I don't know. That was my only run-in of like craziness. Because then I was freaked out, like, what the fuck happened? Was that something crazy that walked by, or? Yeah.
Interesting.
That was my only really. That, and actually I did have one of those where I don't know if you ever heard of those, where you wake up and you feel like you're being held down.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I had one of those where I felt like I couldn't.
I think we just opened a Pandora's box with Scott here.
I felt like I couldn't move. Those are my only two. That's it, guys. That I need an MRI, and who knows what's wrong.
Well, I mean, so if that happened on the ghost show, I'd be like, holy shit. It's just like, oh, fuck, our camera guy just started hemorrhaging blood out of his nose.
That would, that would be
a little more believable.
Yeah. That's true.
Versus
compared
like the star of the show.
Compared to the little sounds in the background. Help. It could have been anybody in the producer room that made that happen. Who knows?
Yeah, it just seems like the big moments of that show is like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's like, rewind it. Were you guys filming? Like, just go back.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? Have you ever had any? I think he's frozen. Oh, shit. He's having one now. You stroking out?
The ghost is holding him down.
Oh, no. Well, luckily we can we can edit this out. It's nice to just see his face.
It is.
It is
so
nice.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. This is his. No, the ghost got him. We were talking about the ghost that came after me, and now they fucking got him.
They did. Holy shit.
Yeah, he said his computer just crashed. He just sent me a message. That's not good.
Okay.
Well, I wonder. I guess we're still recording. So on to the next topic.
Sure.
Which is. Oh yeah, he's gone now.
He's never leave.
I know. About time. It's just me and you. So we were talking earlier before we started. So you recently went to New York, and you were going to be doing some stand up there. And with everything going on pandemic wise, how was New York as far as like everywhere else that you've been doing comedy? Like, is it crazier there, or is it like how are things there?
Yeah, so the last time I had been to New York, it wasn't for comedy. I just with some friends. We were just going around Brooklyn, kind of just getting the taste of the neighborhood and all that.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. And I mean, I was just in love with the area. It reminded me actually a lot of parts of Oakland, even just how it's just you can really get a sense that there's just artists around. You can hear bands playing. And actually, both times I went to Brooklyn, it was actually Eid. I think it's a Asian holiday or something. I'm not exactly sure what the origin is, but there were people celebrating to certain extents and all that. And this time I went as obviously pre or post COVID, just last weekend, and people were still very much masked up. Still not letting people into places, or they reached capacity very quickly in certain cases. Some bars didn't care; they just let everyone in. But yeah, I noticed, I haven't been in New York in years, but I noticed it, particularly in Brooklyn, a lot more junkies.
Wow, yeah, so
it's too bad. Yeah,
that is sad.
They added a few more characters since the last time I've been there.
Yeah, same.
Junky.
When I was there, it was a little bit. It seemed more. I mean, it was always New York, big city. Kind of dirty. Big city, right? Which even back when I was in Arizona, it was city life, or downtown Phoenix. It was, same kind of scenario. But it was definitely probably worse. I would imagine it's probably worse now than it was the 15, 20 years that I was there in New York. That's crazy. Sad.
It really is, man. You can't call ambulances fast enough.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
It's rough. Gas is getting expensive.
Oh, I bet, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mark is dead.
Now it did. Yeah. It's the whole pipeline thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Over here, because we were near because I moved to Tennessee, as I mentioned.
I was going to say you're in Tennessee.
Yeah. So here, because being in the South or near where it was, I was nervous. But really, it was just one day of everyone didn't have gas, and then next thing you know, there was gas, but now it's 30, 40 cents higher than it was beforehand. So it just jumped in a week, it's crazy high. So it's well,
Jesus.
It is what it is, right? You gotta. Yeah. Luckily, I don't do a whole lot of driving, but
that's good.
Yeah,
I know. I'm a scant 200 miles or so away from New York, and I'm going back next weekend, and then another 3 weekends. So I'm just I just want world peace now. I was ambivalent before,
I agree.
But now I'm really a world peace guy.
I agree. Yeah, let's stop all the craziness and just be united, right? Be one happy country. It's easier said than done, but
yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to come back on or what's going on. Obviously, we can edit all this out while we're.
No, it's all good.
Figuring out this stuff.
So there was a Boston guy named Sean Carter who just moved to Tennessee, and he just started a comedy club called the Blue.
Is it in Nashville? Oh, okay. Because I'm close to Nashville. I'm not in Nashville, but that's where I'm at.
I should. Yeah, I'm gonna plug it. That's opening soon.
Very cool. Yeah, because I'm looking obviously for connections in Tennessee, so then we can kind of have this whole almost kind of like an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing, because he's there in Arizona now, and I'm here kind of on the East Coast in a sense. I don't know what you consider it. It's all new to me because I was a native to Arizona. Coming, like leaving there to come here is totally different.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have to imagine. Wait, where are you from originally?
Yeah, I was in Arizona.
Oh, okay. So
I was a native there, and then obviously leaving there and coming here. So now I'm like in the humidity. This like I've only been here a month, so I'm like now feeling the whole like swampiness, right? Like that's.
Yep.
And I felt that in New York.
Are people real nice?
Yeah,
Real nice down there.
Yeah, I'm swimming in my clothes for sure. And it's a whole new world so far, but it's felt like it definitely has felt like a good place to be, I'd say, so far.
Nice.
No complaints.
Yeah, because I feel like people are super nice there, where I feel like in Boston, people just don't give a fuck about you, and it's weird if like people say hi, you're like, oh, this guy wants money if he's talking to me.
Dude, yeah, I was getting the same feeling, and it's weird, back in Arizona, I was getting that same feeling, which I don't know why, but I was getting that, no one really, like here, it seems more like everyone's waving, everyone's trying to help, and like talk to you, and like be more like involved, and it's like, that's a whole, like everyone's neighborly, and I'm not. Because I think Arizona probably kind of ruined me a little bit because I'm not really neighborly, or maybe I'm just, an introvert in a sense where I don't really want to mingle with folks, but like it's a whole new world. It's crazy.
It really is.
Yeah. It's a shocker.
It's like we have like people in our building, and it's like and it's like we have a dog, right? We'll go to the dog park, and it's fun because people are super nice and always want to talk to us. But like even me, like I'm just like, oh, like why can't I just be nice to people and be people's friends who I just like see casually, but like instead I just hate them.
Yeah.
Like I want nothing to do with you, man. Like
yeah.
I have to see you already. Like I don't know what kind of mood I'm gonna be in like tomorrow when I'm just like walking out to my car, and it's like I don't want to, like I can't bank on that I'm gonna want to say hi to you when I'm like barely awake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like starting relationships in your condo complex is hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it shouldn't be done.
Yeah, it's yeah. I get it. It's hard to make those connections from scratch. I get it.
But like, I don't want to. I'm sure it's like it would be so easy, right? If we were all like, if you wanted to be friends with all your neighbors in your complex, you could.
Oh, that's true.
But it's like,
yeah, here I could. It's weird because everyone is so friendly so far.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Oh, Mark. Oh, Mark's back. Mark. Hey, Mark. You're joining us now, and the Amigos.
My computer decided
podcast.
it wanted to update Windows as we were recording for some reason.
Oh,
shut everything down.
See that?
Oh, jeez.
You light your Mac on fire, and now you get your Windows wanting to update and send money to Bill Gates for divorce.
Right? Well, I mean, this laptop has been trashed since we tried to use it for Amigos recording when we first started the podcast. So.
Yeah, so it's a throwaway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just talking about how me moving from Arizona here, and I'm talking about how everyone seems so nice and neighborly, which is not my cup of tea. And he was saying the same kind of thing up there in Boston. It's kind of the same thing. It's like it's hard to be neighborly, it seems.
Yeah, and I feel like like I hate my neighbors, but for no reason. Like it would be so vindicated if they were just like, if I was just like walking and they didn't think that I could hear them. You know what I mean? And I was walking behind them, and they like dropped a pencil or something, and then they were like, "Oh, fucking Jews!" Like I'd be like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh,
I now have a reason to hate you because you don't like Jewish people. But like right now, I just hate them for literally no reason. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you, man.
Yeah.
Keep fucking walking with your no hate for anybody.
Yeah, I have no desire to like get to know my neighbors. I can't even fathom like the whole like just sitting out in front of your house and like having a conversation with one of them. It's like, this is so unappealing to me. I don't want to know who you are. I don't want to know what your opinion is when I yell at my kids in my house and you can hear it. And I don't want to know what those weird noises are coming from your house either. So let's just not socialize at all.
Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe you're, this happened last summer. Maybe you're working a buzz at the pool, right? And this happened to me. I was working a buzz at the pool. I have my Yeti cup just sipping away. Life is good. I've got my headphones in just like this, sunglasses. Little boy comes up to me, starts talking at me. I don't take out my headphones. I don't look at him. I don't say anything. And I notice he's still talking to me. And then I notice his dad walks over. He's wearing sunglasses. And I'm like, what the fuck? I take out my headset. And he's like, my son is talking to you. And like, I was like, oh, okay. And I look over and like, I think he was just like, oh, what do you come to the pool off? And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, man. You bother me for this? Like,
I almost
I can't have relationships.
I almost would turn to him and be like, yeah, I'm legally not allowed to talk to children. You might want to get him.
Oh, good dark turn. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Put that one in your back pocket, Dave.
I've been canceled with this one Booker guy. So let me tell you about that real quick. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's your neighborly relationships and it will just weigh you down in life.
Yeah.
You know, just go about your life, have your friend group separate from your neighbors, and, you know.
Yeah, we have a rule that we're not going to be friends with neighbors on the same street as us, because we've had issues where we were friends with neighbors that were like next door to us and things kind of fell apart, and then you don't want to really be next to those people anymore, really, because it gets kind of weird.
Sure, yeah.
So like, it's our new rule is like, you can't, like, you can be nice and cordial to the ones near you, but you have to be further away from the ones that you're actually friends with, because then if it falls apart, it's like, I'm done with you. I don't have to really see you every day, kind of thing. Is what I've learned in life.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, minus the internet connection, was there anything else you guys talked about?
Talked about his New York trip.
Yeah.
Talking about how, we talked about that once because we talked about it offline. I brought it back up, and he's talking about the funny he had there, and how the mask thing is, and all that. How they're still...
I was listening to one of your episodes, and it sounded like you drove like 8 hours, not 8 hours, but like 6 hours to Connecticut for a show one time.
Yeah. They were like, I mean, especially during the pandemic, I just became a huge joke junkie, like just trying to get to any set that I can. Like my wife, like she was just like, what? So you drove 4 hours to do like 7 minutes at an outdoor show? I was like, yes, that's where they were giving out the fucking heroin. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's, I had to do it, and I'll still do that. Like I'm going back to Brooklyn next weekend for like some porch show, and I think the attendees like thing on Facebook, it's like 15 people right now. So, and I don't know if that'll be like 30 people or 6 people, but like I have the same level of commitment that I have for
That's
that
awesome.
as I do for that, and just try to I think everyone's kind of chasing down having a really good tape, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all kind of in the service of that. And then after that, maybe I'll pump the brakes a little bit, but it's just rough. And like the most recent New York trip, I was supposed to do 2 shows. I started to talk about this before we were on air, but yeah, I ended up only doing 1, and like I was really banking on that credit. But like right before the show, the guy was like, "Hey, so I got good news and bad news. Good news is show's sold out. Bad news is you can't be on it because you didn't sell any tickets." It's like, what?
Yeah, and you were saying, that you went into it telling them like, "Hey, I don't really know a lot of people here." You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was like, I'm a Boston comic. I have like 3 comedian friends who, I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming by. And he was just like, yeah, like, we'll figure it out. And so what happened was the show was actually at 6 at Broadway Comedy Club. Just put a little gasoline on that bridge there. So it was 6 o'clock, and I got check out of my hotel room was I think like 10 a.m. and I checked out, and then it's just like a super hot fucking day, and I was just like literally walking around. I was like all day to burn. So I just kind of hung out again, just burning money. My car is parked somewhere, and I decided to like just watch a movie like in a theater, which I haven't done in like 11 months or whatever. And I was enjoying Riot and The Last Dragon for like an hour, and I was like, I gotta pull myself together. I got a show tonight after all. So I leave the theater like an hour into the movie. But it was just cool to like sit somewhere and chill for a little bit, not think about the show type of deal. And I'm walking over to the club, and he's like, "Hey, don't bother, showing up."
Oh.
Like, God damn it! I know my one credit or my other credit that I was hoping on,
banking with.
It's too bad. It is a crazy business.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But still, that's awesome that you're trying to find the avenues to be able to work the craft, and it's tough, being up there in the northern east, because it seems like it's a harder place to be, even in probably California too. It's hard for them if they're doing stuff on the beach and stuff to be able to do comedy, and it's rough for comics right now. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's starting to open up a little bit, but I feel like Boston is an especially difficult place to start comedy. But I think that's a good thing. It's like if you start learning guitar on a really shitty guitar, and then you pick up a good guitar, you're like, oh, holy shit, I can kind of do this a little bit. And that's kind of been my performing outside of Boston.
That. Sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, everything is just a better guitar than Boston. Boston is great, but it's a hard fucking town.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. This might be a weird, just a weird question. But ease of getting from Boston to New York to do a show, is it easier to take a train and get into the city, or is it easier to just bring your car and deal with parking?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a New York newbie, but I was kind of even embarrassed that I had to get a hotel once I had my first show that actually occurred. It was weird. Everyone was just like, oh, you should have just stayed with us type of deal.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it probably is easier just to take the train in there and chill, not worry about literally being outside for 8 hours before your show. Excuse me. So yeah, I think next time I'll do that. Just take the train. But yeah, for me, I was just I'll have my car, and then I'll go to a garage. I'll go from that garage to the show to the hotel to the car to the other shit. And it's just all fell apart.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. That's how I would look at it. Basically going,
right,
but that sucks.
And it's also appealing just to be on your own schedule. It's you leave when you want to leave. You're not asking people where the train is and stuff like that. More freeing.
Very true.
It's just I don't know, with New York being as big as it is and everything that's kind of connected to everywhere, it just seems like, okay, well, I don't want to deal with parking while I'm there, so how can I avoid that type thing?
Yeah, well, I knew I was gonna stay for free overnight. I was actually able to park for free, so I saved a bunch of money that.
So that works.
But it was just kind of finagling. Yeah, so I allocated an amount for parking, and I was just it'll be what it is. And,
that makes sense. You worked the angle good then.
Exactly.
Yeah, good.
Gonna be paying for that park in the next 6 months. That's showbiz. Yep. Baby.
I was supposed to get paid for this gig, and totally came out of pocket all this money.
Yeah, backfired.
I'm still waiting for a few chicken fingers to come in. Fucking hoopers.
Did you go in? Did you eat anywhere in New York that was memorable?
Not really. No, I wanted to do the whole Action Bronson thing, but none of the places were really near me, and I didn't want to show up to any of the gigs smelled like stank. You know what I mean? Yeah. I did go to a good dumpling house. I think it's called Meijing in Brooklyn. That was pretty solid. Okay. But best leave it up to the pros. Just watch Fuck That's Delicious, and because I just became very singularly minded. I was there specifically to perform. I was either performing or in my hotel pacing and practicing and that sort of thing. I was looking over what I wanted to do, and
yes, you had a focused mind. You weren't there for vacation. You were there for focus and doing your work in your craft.
Yeah, exactly. And it's this thing. It's when people are on shows, it's like you feel obligated to post about the show you're doing on Instagram. It's really so you can brag and to your peers.
Right.
Like, no one's actually coming to your stupid fucking show, guys. Wake up, all right? Like, let's be honest. I'm sure sometimes they do. I don't know, but it's more so. But so I had like a friend actually show up, and I was like, oh god damn it, because like now I'm gonna entertain you and also like kind of not hang with comedians.
Yeah.
And, we ended up all hanging out together, but I feel like there was like a weird like energy there, like. But productive trip overall.
Very cool.
It was good times.
Yeah.
What other states have you traveled to recently outside of Connecticut, New York, or has it just been those three, or being in Boston?
Yeah, Connecticut, New York, New Hampshire. That's really it. There's enough that happens in Boston, but it's just nice to have like a fresh, like literally go to a crowd that you've never, you know for a fact no one has heard your material before. And,
how does that make you feel when you go on stage?
Yeah.
It
can be really fun. I know it's a bad answer, but
I'd imagine because
it always makes it worth the trip.
because you're like excited because you're gonna work because these people haven't heard your stuff, so it's almost like you definitely have that anxiety level a little bit more, like you hope it kind of works out kind of thing, and it almost probably feels like a first time almost, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're like, well, like, this is it. Like, if you're not going to win these people over, you're not going to win anyone over. And I love the mentality. It's like, there's no excuse. It's like every room you have to bring something that, people want, even if it's not going well. You got to fill the time. If you're not doing well, lean into it type of deal. But as long as you can kind of read the room and see where it's going, you can kind of keep control of it. But yeah, no, it's also it's always like extra nerve-wracking that first like 3 seconds before you even open your mouth, because like when you see comedy and you see a comedian, you're like, oh, that guy, like you make a judgment call immediately about somebody, and it actually pays off when they're right about you, and because they're like, oh, we're all on the same page. Like for me, you're just like, oh, dumb guy, and then like I take you from there.
Right. We have with the question of like, have you been at other places? We actually have a friend of the show, Adam Nutter. He's a comedian in the Philadelphia area, which isn't, I don't know if that's too far from where you're at, but I mean, it's kind of in like the whole East Coast area. He runs a whole
it's pretty close,
show. He runs a whole bunch of shows in the Philly area.
Oh, wow. Yeah, put me in touch with them. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a few questions that we kind of told you about previously. You said you had listened to the show prior to coming on and kind of know what's going to come from left field on these. Scott and myself we're not flat earthers, but we like to entertain the idea. And we've had a few guests on the show that are specifically from Australia. And we've literally asked them, directly in the interview, is Australia a real place? And the consensus really ends up being is they don't know where they're at. And we're kind of leaning on the point of, I don't know if this is really where you end up when you take an 18-hour flight from the United States to Australia. So my question to you is, do you think Australia is real if there is like a flat earth theory?
Yeah, no, this is brilliant, and I did appreciate this on your episode recently, because it's so true. Yeah, like it doesn't, because anytime anyone talks about Australia, there's always like that thing of just like, well, you're not actually going there, are you? Because like everyone's fucking in on this thing, like it's not there. Like, and they're always like, oh yeah, well, Australia, no, sure, oh yeah, sure, it's beautiful. Oh my god, of course, yeah, what are you, kangaroos, of course, but only 28% of it is inhabitable. Like they scare you, you know what I mean? They don't want you going there. It isn't there.
And there's so many rules, like you can't bring anything with you.
Nothing has made more sense.
You can't bring anything with you. It's like it's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Can't take nothing back with you.
Another thing too that kind of feeds our argument that it's not a real place is that they don't let you leave with Australia's stuff. Like you have to buy. Let's say you wanted to get a didgeridoo, right? You wanted to get a didgeridoo, and which that's a ridiculous name in the beginning, but you have to buy one from like yeah, exactly. You have to buy one from like a third party manufacturer or whatever you want, provider, distributor, and have it shipped to your house. Like you can't bring. They sell koala fur there regularly, and you can't let that. They don't let that leave Australia supposedly. So that's another thing. Like, okay, well, why can't I bring this stuff with me? Like, this doesn't make sense. I don't think this is actually a real place because I can't provide evidence that I was even there.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. And I feel like maybe Australia is just like the truest. Like this is all a simulation, but like Australia is the actual Matrix.
Oh my
it's
God.
the server farm.
Like
exactly.
Like, you'd get there and you'd be like, "Whoa, this is so nice here." They're like, "Well, it's the Matrix, mate." You know.
And that's you. That's the kangaroo talking back to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, just shut up, robot kangaroo.
Damn robot kangaroo.
You're not real.
They're everywhere.
Since we're kind of making this like a conspiracy that Australia really isn't real, do you have a favorite conspiracy that you like to entertain regularly?
Not really. I think some of the well, first of all, in Godzilla versus Kong, they make notice that like, or they make it a point to say that the world basically is flat and that monsters are in the middle of the earth.
Kind of got
So
that
I think
vibe
that's
too.
worth noting.
Yeah.
So flat earthers were just like, "Fuck yeah!" The movie came out, they're like, "Finally." But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think DJ Khaled like is probably being held like you know what I mean? Like he has someone. What's the word I'm looking for? Like basically, he has no talent and he's famous for no reason. Like
He's
I think
a stage person.
someone he has someone very high up's daughter like kidnapped or something.
So
Or how does that work?
it's almost like a
Do you know what I'm trying to
like a taken
articulate?
situation, or no? Wait, no, that wouldn't make sense. It's more like a
Yeah,
like a damn. I'm trying to figure how that would be. So he.
Or I think he sold his soul
Oh,
to
okay.
become
Okay.
DJ Khaled. I think is the
That's
easiest
true,
way of saying
it,
because
he
like,
really just says his name. Not every. I mean, I'm sure he
Right.
produces the music, right? I mean, no, you know, we don't know.
We don't know that.
we don't
I'm
know
sure there really is a producer that does it, and he just says his name on it and puts it. He stamps it, and everything's good. And he makes money, and the world keeps going. But
Well, he might.
he just surrounds himself with like more talented people like I'm doing to you guys today. Like and I'm just like, hey, I'm on this podcast.
yeah,
I'm a success now, you guys, because I'm with you guys. You guys have
Yeah,
microphones. I have a microphone. Like I'm DJ Khaled.
that's so true. That's a good one. I like that. I
like this conspiracy of trying to figure out like, is he a puppet? Is he like the master of puppets? Like,
Oh, do
how...
you think he's like a Manchurian Candidate kind of thing, where he's being programmed, like he's almost like a robot, and somebody's making him be a face of something?
Oh,
That's
Oh my God.
deep.
Wait, so I think yes, and I think it's 3 kids inside of a
shit.
long
Yeah, like almost like oh no, what's that? Damn it, what's that movie? Men in Black. Basically, it's got those things running the whole person, kind of thing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes,
All right.
Yes,
So
exactly.
DJ Khaled is not from Earth.
There's a little robot in his
Yes.
head with control.
Yes. I can see that. I definitely can see that. Yeah. I can open him up when he's on the table, and
I
it's a little
cannot
person.
wait until Will Smith has to fight him
Yeah.
in
I know.
a room of flying little DJ Khaleds all over the
Yeah.
place.
Wow.
He's so frustrated. Like, he always lists his like 3-year-old as a co-producer.
Wow.
It's like, how's that legal, man? You're just fucking sending your kid money after he's done? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Is that kid flipping knobs in the studio?
Wow.
What the fuck is that kid doing? He's not doing
That's
shit.
hilarious.
Turn the
I
light.
didn't know
Kid,
that.
turn the lights on.
Fucking Assad.
He
I mean, you can
No,
donate that money. Be like, oh,
what
like,
it is the kid is actually pressing the
this
button.
video is
The kid is
produced
pressing
by,
the
like-
button that actually says DJ Khaled. He's just saying the kid's pressing the button and keeps saying his dad's name. That's what he's probably doing. DJ Khaled.
Dad, check this out. DJ
Yeah.
Khaled.
Or maybe the kid is the mastermind behind it all.
Maybe.
Could
he
be.
could be.
Shit. whole bunch of worms here. I gotta get a fucking clipboard.
I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research.
I need a dry erase board. I gotta get this fucking just all connected because I think this is real.
Could very well be.
I like it.
What is it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's gonna be like us in the
Charlie
background
Day.
trying to
Charlie Day connecting dots. Yep.
All right. So
I would like a chance.
No.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say I would like a turn of operating DJ Khaled. Like with a remote control.
That's
or however
it would be. I would think it would be like a joystick, like you're just doing. Like it just. Like fucking Pac-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't have much range of
mobility.
mobility. You know what I mean? Like moving the joystick slightly forward with him just be like starting to get up for like
and the red button on top is saying his name. DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled. Yeah.
That's like his that's his super weapon as you're like fighting him.
Sir, what are you doing?
No, I
DJ
can't
Khaled. Sir, what are you doing? DJ Khaled.
Oh, I'm sick of this guy.
All right.
He was great at Mortal Kombat.
Our last question is, what is a piece of information that you have learned that feels illegal to know?
Yeah. So this is really helpful for me, but I feel like a lot of people know it, so I'm just going to dad out on you guys quickly. But did you guys know that if you, this is so lame, if you charge your phone in airplane mode, it charges like 3 times as fast? Oh my
God, no,
you know
I
what?
did not know
I
that.
was actually this years old when I found that out.
You were 1 year old? You had one finger up.
Like no, that's a thing. Where you say I'm 37, like I was this years old. Like,
Gotcha.
I just found that piece of information out. No, you don't know? Okay.
No.
Oh man. If I could get that to one person.
That's awesome. Wow. I didn't know that. You reached me.
Yeah. Wait, Scott, did I
I did it. I did not know that.
Nice.
I do know the one thing I know is if you have an internet signal trouble, is you toggle your airplane mode and then it reconnects your cell phone towers. So that gets you connected better. Yeah. So you toggle it if you're having problems 5G, like cell phone wise, you toggle it and it will reset you to help you connect better to another tower that you're near closer to.
Did you learn that after you?
Oh, interesting.
Did you learn that after you switched to AT&T?
Because I have to do it more often. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
But no, I've heard that from our friend of the show, our Apple guy, Brian.
Oh yeah.
That's where your laptop is.
Yeah, that's exactly where my laptop is.
But
well, we appreciate that you came onto the show, Dave. Do you have anything that you want to promote before we cut out, or do you have anything that you'd like to just drop at all?
Yeah, if you're in Brooklyn next week on Saturday, come out to the Quincy Adam. It's going to be a stoop show and a big old block party with musicians and comics. It's going to be a ton of people drinking and smoking in the street. It's going to be a ton of fun, so come on out. And definitely check out the Comics Feature podcast. It's going to be a fun time. We're talking about Justice League with Mark and Scott today. So that's going to be a shit show. And so definitely check out that episode and rate, review, subscribe. Check out the Instagram and that's it.
All right, we appreciate that you came out, man.
Thanks,
Amigos
Dave.
out.
This has been the Amigos PC. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review us on all your podcasting platforms. Visit us at AmigosPC.net for our entire library of content and Amigos merch. Till next time, adios.